This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Use offer code DSNY to get 83% off and an additional 3 months free when you purchase. So in recent years, Disney has returned to its vault of classic tales for all new live-action adaptations that have been extremely successful in terms of box office performance, and despite being met by mixed critical reviews, audiences seem to keep returning for the nostalgia and the promise of that signature Disney movie magic. And so in the coming years, there's a packed slate of offerings in various stages of development that we'll dive into up next. Hi there Waltineers, I'm Jack and this is of course DSNY Newscast, and before we get started be sure to go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to the channel, hit that notification bell, and with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. As this summer Disney has 2 live action releases, with the origin story of the Dalmatian obsessed Cruella de Vil on May 28th in theatres and on Disney+, and then we have Disney's big summer blockbuster Jungle Cruise that's in theatres on July 30th. But today we're not here to talk about what you probably already know and have seen trailers for, but instead we're going to discuss what's coming in terms of Disney live action features in the next 2 years or so. So first of all, Disney will be diving under the sea once again with the much anticipated live action retelling of the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, The Little Mermaid, that will be heavily inspired by the 1989 Disney animated classic. And this will be directed by Rob Marshall, who has tons of experience directing musicals such as the Academy Award-winning Chicago, 2014's Into the Woods, and 2018's Mary Poppins Returns. And just like Mary Poppins, it will be produced by Marshall's longtime collaborators John DeLuca and Mark Platt. But also new to the team will be Lin-Manuel Miranda, who starred as Jack the Lamplighter in Mary Poppins Returns. However, Lin-Manuel Miranda won't be in front of the camera, but instead he'll be behind the scenes, working double duty not only as a co-producer, but also as a co-songwriter alongside The Little Mermaid's original composer, Alan Menken. And you'll be happy to hear that this live-action reimagining will feature the same incredible score and beloved music written by the iconic duo of Howard Ashman and Alan Menken, with Part of Your World, Under the Sea, Poor Unfortunate Souls, and Kiss the Girl. But in addition to all of those, Alan Menken has confirmed that Lin-Manuel Miranda and himself have written 4 or 5 new songs that have already been recorded, such as an additional song for Eric and Ariel, a song for King Triton, as well as a song for Scuttle. But to bring these songs to life, this movie is going to need a solid musically infused cast. And that's exactly what it has. With Grammy Award nominated artist and star of ABC's Grownish, Halle Bailey, in the role of Ariel, British actor Jonah Hauer-King as Prince Eric, Hamilton's Daveed Diggs as Sebastian, Raya and the Last Dragon's Awkwafina as Scuttle, Jacob Tremblay as Flounder, Javier Bardem as King Triton, and lastly the comedy star of Bridesmaids, Tammy and Saturday Night Live, Melissa McCarthy, will be taking on the role of the wickedly villainous sea witch, Ursula. And although it's unconfirmed, most likely Noma Dumezweni will play Ariel's mother and Queen of Atlantis, Athena, and Emily Coates will likely be Ursula's human form, Vanessa. Now at the time of this recording, we don't have an official release date for The Little Mermaid, but what we do know is that it's about to wrap its principal photography at Pinewood Studios in London, and move its production to Sardinia for location shoots before wrapping production by the end of the summer, which then gives the VFX team the rest of the year and into early 2022 to complete the extremely complex and extremely challenging mixed CGI and live action that will bring this underwater world to the silver screen like never before. So considering that, combined with these slots that are available for theatrical releases of Walt Disney Studios movies in 2022, it seems very likely that The Little Mermaid will be taking the April 8th, 2022 release slot. And the reason why this makes sense is traditionally the Easter and spring break opening window has proven to be extremely successful for Disney live-action reimaginings in the past, such as The Jungle Book in 2016 that grossed $966 million worldwide, and Beauty and the Beast in 2017 that grossed $1.2 billion. So it only seems logical that this reimagining of The Little Mermaid will be ready for release in the first half of 2022, despite no official announcement or release date as of yet. And very quickly, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Surfshark VPN, which is easily the simplest virtual private network service I've ever used, as essentially a VPN is the only way you can travel virtually around the world and access content from different regions as if you were physically there. So what that means for us Disney fans is that you can unlock all of the content that Disney Plus has to offer, such as the Hotstar streaming catalogue that's available in Europe. And on top of that, a VPN gives a level of protection when you're accessing sensitive data on a public Wi-Fi, like checking out your bank balance inside a theme park or entering passwords on your local coffee shop's free Wi-Fi. So if you want to give Surfshark VPN a go on iOS, Android, Windows or Mac, click the link in the description box and use the code DSNY to get 83% off and an extra 3 months for free. However, Disney is also looking to bring big movie theatre level live action productions to Disney Plus as well, with the first being Peter Pan and Wendy. That is confirmed to arrive on Disney Plus sometime within 2022. And this will be based off the iconic character work developed for Disney's 1953 animated version of Peter Pan, along with drawing a lot of its inspiration from J.M. Barrie's novel Peter and Wendy, to create a unique live-action reimagining of this classic tale. And the cast will feature newcomer Alexander Maloney as Peter Pan, Eva Anderson as Wendy, star of the franchises Sherlock Holmes and Fantastic Beasts, Jude Law as Captain Hook, stand-up comedian Jim Gaffigan as his right-hand man Smee, Alan Tudyk and Molly Parker as Mr. and Mrs. Darling, Joshua Pickering as John, Jacob E. Jupe as Michael, Alyssa Wapanatank as the warrior princess of Neverland, Tiger Lily, and ABC's Blackish and Grownish star Yara Shahidi in the role of Tinkerbell. And helming this movie will be the director David Lowery, who previously directed the 2016 live-action version of Pete's Dragon, which did have a dismal box office performance of only $143 million worldwide. But overall, it was received extremely well critically, with an 88% critics rating on Rotten Tomatoes, thus indicating that it was more to do with the marketing and August release date that hindered its performance. But it could also be because of the audience's interest in the original animated movie was lacking. Whereas the same cannot be said for Peter Pan, which is extremely popular, and is a beloved and timeless Disney classic for generations. And because of that, David Lowery has stated that he feels immense pressure to create a perfect live-action retelling for this era, with this version to be more grounded in realism, whilst also being a blockbuster fantasy adventure. And this won't just be the same exact story as the 1953 version, but this time in live action. But instead, it will have a fully fleshed out, layered story that will do justice to J.M. Barrie's source material as well. And then also confirmed to exclusively be coming to Disney Plus in the next year or two is a very special reimagining of Disney's 1940 animated classic, Pinocchio. And this is definitely a high-profile project for Disney, as legendary director of Back to the Future, Robert Zemeckis, will direct this live-action animation hybrid that will couple together both live-action and CGI visual effects, leveraging the latest advancements in cinematography and motion capture to bring this animated tale into the real world like never before. And taking on the role of toy builder Geppetto will be the Tom Hanks, who has a storied history of working with Zemeckis on Academy Award-winning and nominated blockbusters such as Forrest Gump, Castaway, and The Polar Express. So considering the filmography that Pinocchio will be joining, it really does showcase that Disney is serious about bringing movie theatre level releases to Disney Plus. And of course, it also has a great ensemble cast, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt voicing Pinocchio's conscience, Jiminy Cricket, comedy star Keegan-Michael Key as Honest John, 2017's Beauty and the Beast star Luke Evans will be the coachman, Oaks Fegley as Lampwick, Lorraine Bracco voices a new Seagull character called Sophia, and Emmy, Grammy and Tony Award winning Cynthia Erivo will play the Blue Fairy. And to bring the little wooden boy to life will be Benjamin Evan Ainsworth from Netflix's The Haunting of Bly Manor in the titular role of Pinocchio. And we're still awaiting casting news for Stromboli as well. But considering Zemeckis' previous films, you might think that this will be some sort of musically muted version of the tale, a bit like Tim Burton's Dumbo. But instead, this Pinocchio will be a musical, with the classics such as There Are No Strings on Me, Hi Diddly Dee, and of course When You Wish Upon a Star. And as the DisInsider.com exclusively reported in December, there will also be new songs written by Glenn Ballard and Academy Award winner Alan Silvestri. But in terms of release date, considering that the movie only began its principal photography in Italy on March 17th, 2021, I expect that Disney will be targeting this to begin streaming on Disney+, maybe in time for Christmas 2022. However, we at least have 5 more movies that Disney have confirmed to be in various levels of production, with the first being a long-anticipated sequel to the 1993 cult classic, Hocus Pocus. And this will see Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy Najimy reprising their roles as Winifred, Sarah and Mary. And despite there being no official plot details right now, we do know that the production begins filming this summer in Salem. And considering Disney has mentioned this as a Halloween release, most likely Hocus Pocus 2 will be arriving just in time for Halloween 2022 on Disney+. And then next up we have 2 more sequels, with one called Shrunk, which will be a sequel to 1989's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which will see Josh Gad star as Nick Zielinski, who accidentally shrinks his own children, and needs the help of his father, Wayne Zielinski, which will see Rick Moranis reprising his role. And there'll also be Disenchanted, that's a sequel to the 2007 movie Enchanted with Amy Adams, Idina Menzel and James Marsden reprising their roles of Giselle, Nancy and Prince Edward. And also featured within the sequel will be Yvette Nicole Brown, Jayma Mays and 2-time Emmy Award winner Maya Rudolph, most likely as the villain. Then moving on from the sequels, we have what is being described as a prequel of sorts to Jon Favreau's version of The Lion King. But this will be directed by Oscar winner Barry Jenkins. And personally, I could see this targeting more of a theatrical release, as Disney will probably be wanting to try and capture more of that $1.6 billion box office that the 2019 film grossed. And then lastly, we have a live-action Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers movie that is said to be utilising both 2D and 3D animation for the lovable chipmunks. That will be voiced by Andy Samberg and John Mulaney. But that's not all, as Disney also has a stacked lineup of other live-action movies that are all in various stages of development that you can see here. But notably, a few stand out, such as the live-action version of Hercules, which will be produced by Joe and Anthony Russo, who previously directed Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. Then there's also a reimagining of Victor Hugo's novel, and the 1996 Disney animated feature The Hunchback of Notre Dame, that is said to not only have Josh Gad producing it, but also starring in the role of Quasimodo. And lastly, Disney is also making progress on a live-action version of Lilo and Stitch that will apparently feature an older actress for the role of Lilo, and will be produced by Dan Lin and Jonathan Eric, who previously produced Disney's Aladdin in 2019. So that's everything that we have confirmed to be coming out in the near future in terms of Disney's live-action slate. But I'll be sure to come back next year when we have more information on all of these projects when they're further developed. But now, it's over to you, the Waltineers. I would like to know, which of these movies are you most excited to see? And also, if you could get Disney to make any one of their classic animated features into a live-action production, then which one would it be and why? And of course, don't forget to put the timestamp for where the hidden Mickey appeared somewhere in today's video, along with your suggestion or your comment, so therefore that way you're in with a chance to win one of these official DSNY Newscast Avengers-inspired pins. And so that's it for today, so be sure to go and subscribe down below if you're new to the channel, hit the notification bell and turn on notifications if you're already subscribed, and if you've enjoyed today's video then be sure to give this video a massive thumbs up, as it really does help this channel out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.